Hey guys, welcome back to my video. Today I'll be doing the 6 most haunted places in America that will terrify you. For real terrify you. When I looked, the majority of them look pretty creepy. Real creepy. Alright. So the first one is the Ohio State Reformatory, Mansfield, Ohio. You guys will know about this if you live in Ohio. This Gothic castle-like structure was built in 1896 with the noble goal of reforming juvenile and young adult offenders. As with many best laid plans, the ideals of the reformatory gradually gave way to institutional reality. The path to a better life yielding to a warehouse of despair, pain, and even death. Plagued for decades with overcrowding, decay, and explosive violence, the doors to OSR were closed for good in 1990 by a federal order citing brutalizing and inhumane conditions. So because of the conditions, they had to shut down because the people who are in there, they're not being they can't live in the conditions because they are human even though they do all these offences. Where was I? But something remained behind. Along with the peeling paint and rusting iron bars, the troubled spirits of forgotten inmates still linger behind its thick stone walls. Ghosts of angry men physically attack visitors and staff. Eerie whispers echoes through the cell blocks, calling by name those who dare climb reverberating metal stairs to its upper tiers. Apparitions of emaciated prisoners flicker in and out of the dark shadows of solitary confinement, tucked deep in the bowels of the building. And the heartbroken spirit of Ellen, wife of a former warden, cries out in her former quarters, her distinctive rose perfume accompanying her presence. So there's a lot of ghosts in there. Another place where I won't even go on at all. Just in case if they try to me, because I am not involved, I'll be out of there. Number 2, Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Louisville, Kentucky. Once the last best hope for those suffering from tuberculosis, aka the White Plague. This enormous bat-winged shaped building retains the memories and emotions of its former patients and staff. Before the modern age of antibiotics, fresh air, and nutrition were the primary treatments for TB, the tuberculosis thing. The doctors tried many experimental procedures to help the afflicted, but drastic surgeries often maimed or even killed the patient outright. Another case of best intentions gone awry. The highly contagious disease could also affect the brain, causing many to go mad. The slow agonizing death suffered by many Waverly's residents left a residue of dark energy to fester in the building. Ghostly forms followed visitors through the narrow corridors. Phantom footsteps and eerie voices echo among the walls of the body chute, aka the death tunnel. The discreet final exit for many patients. An entity known as the Creeper climbs walls and ceilings with its spiny, spider-like limbs. What the hell? Thought to be a harbinger of evil. It moves with unnatural speed, stalking those who roam the creepy, lonely corridors. Originally a place of hope for the afflicted, Waverly Hills is burdened with the weight of thousands of suffering souls. That ain't funny, man. Hell no, that ain't funny. You know, it's like if you guys have played Outlast the game before, right? It's like the Wall Rider. If you played Outlast, you know I'm talking about. Say he's like the Wall Rider, going through walls, climbing walls, doing all these crazy things. Number 4. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, Weston, West Virginia. Before 19th century reform revealed mental illness to be a medical condition. Asylums were the dumping ground for society's unwanted. Originally a destination of enlightened empathy and treatment, the famed Kirkbride method emphasized institutionalization, and the architecture that afforded a pleasant aesthetic. But Tala, Tala, eventually became just another overcrowded, underfunded warehouse of pain and misery. When the doors finally closed for good in 1994, the confused spirits of many former patients stayed locked inside. Murderers, rapists, and other violent offenders still mixed with those whose only crimes was depression or substance abuse. Tortured ghosts of those who endured horrific ice-pick lobotomies, screamed for justice inside the asylum walls. The lingering spirit of a lonely child named Lily is one of Tyler's innocent victims, like a sentinel. She sits patiently in her brightly coloured room, waiting for someone to play with her. Screw that. And this is the last. There's two more actually. There are three more. Okay. This one's in Alaska, called the Red Onion Saloon, Skagway, Alaska. Many who flocked to Alaska during the gold rushes of the 19th century never made it past the staging town of Skagway. Overwhelmingly unprepared for such a back-breaking journey, many stayed in the town and sought their fortune in other ways. Many women found themselves with little opportunity to make a respectable living and turned it to prostitution. With no shortage of customers, these soul doves found plenty of work in Skagway. Brothels became commonplace, and the Red Onion was the best in town. Although only in operations for 2 years in the late 1890s, this fascinating place has secured a spot in Alaskan history. It is now a popular tourist attraction, complete with a brothel museum on the top floor. But behind the music and free-flowing brew is a collection of the Klondike's most intriguing ghosts. The spirit of a Diamond Little, a former madam, still keeps a watchful eye on her girls and guests. She caresses male visitors with her ghostly hands and whispers seductively in their ears. A malevolent male presence intimidates unsuspecting staff and patrons, but bullying both from beyond the grave. The solid apparition of a woman in a long dark dress glides ethereally up and down the staircase. The gaiety of her current clients cannot silence the spirits of those who refuse to be forgotten. Wow. The Lake County History Center, Painesville, Ohio. Why does Ohio sound so damn weird? Museums are an often underappreciated source of paranormal activity. For example, the Lake County History Center has everything one could ask for in a haunted location. It was once the site of the Lake County Poorhouse, a facility that housed the dispossessed of society, the poor, the infirm, the mentally ill, widows, and orphan children. Mix in some prisoners and the criminally insane, and you've got a melting pot of misery. The basement had a dirt floor cells with iron doors and cages for the unruly. In contrast, a significant portion of the building was a beautiful home for the facility's superintendents and their families, elegantly furnished with posh amenities of the Victorian era. Now it is a living museum, filled with antiques and artifacts of days gone by. Displays that tell the history of Ohio and its people. But strange things are afoot at the History Center. Disembodied voices, ghostly moans, and children cries pierce the silence. Large shadowy figures appear to dart along the hallways. Dark energy roams the basement, appearing at times as a pulsating black mass. The ghost of the matron, a severe and silent woman, still holds vigil on the old dormitory floors, keeping a cold watchful on her flock. Mission San Miguel, San Luis Obispo, California. Founded by a Franciscan priest in 1797. The mission was one of a long chain of missions along the road known as El Camino Real. The Franciscans established these respites along the coastline, like a chain to heaven, converting many of the local people to Christianity along the way. The beautiful church built in 1821 stands today. The mission was secularized in 1834, and in 1848 a civilian named Reed became the proprietor, turning the property into a much-needed hotel and general store. Rumors spread that Reed had a plethora of gold on hand at all times. A tragic robbery turned murder left Reed, his family, and his staff brutally slain for a sack of gold. Their dismembered parts were buried in a communal grave in the church's cemetery. Today, the Mission San Miguel is once again a working church, retaining much of its original character and beauty. The grounds are a museum, a tribute to its former occupants. Encased in the adobe walls are the memories of those who fell victim to its darker days. Phantom priests of decades past return to keep a watchful eye on the congregation. The ghost of the native people walk amongst the buildings of the old fort, acting as protectors of the land, and the spirits of the slaughtered Reed family still linger, seeking justice from beyond the grave. A lot of creepy stuff, guys. Really creepy. I think it's creepy. Comment below what you think. Hope you really enjoyed this video, guys. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting videos every night. And on the description below, I'll also be posting my Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. So follow me in there so you can keep up with me, what I'm doing and stuff, because I'm usually on there a lot. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Peace out.